Well, welcome to the conference, everybody. It's great to have you all here. We're going to get started with our presentation. Wow, what a crowd. What a crowd. It's great to be here, and I want to welcome everybody and thank you so much for making the journeys. So I'm going to share some stories with you today. And one thing that I do that really drives my wife nuts is I talk to everyone. I always ask the same three questions. Where were you born? How many brothers and sisters do you have? And what is one of your favorite childhood memories? Make sure during lunch today and while you're here, you ask those questions and connect with those around you. We start this way because this is how I live my life. My wife will attest to this. I drive her crazy. I introduce myself to everyone. I have met some of the most interesting people, have made great personal and professional connections along the way, and many friends. And that's what I'm hoping to do with all of you today, is to make a connection. Thank you so much to the Evergreen Supply Network for organizing this great event and for everybody here today. When they asked me to give this speech, I thought, are you nuts? Don't you know what you're getting into, asking a Chicago boy with Irish roots to tell his story in 20 minutes? My son Peter gifted me 2 years ago with Storyworth. It's an online program that asks you questions each week about your life. And at the end of the year, it creates a book about you. And this led me to really dig into my past and look at my story of what makes me me. One of the first stories I want to share with you is how I got in the construction business. I was 17 years old, and my brother-in-law was working for Mayfair Construction in Chicago. He asked me if I wanted a summer job, and of course I said yes. I showed up at the site of this 34-story high-rise downtown Chicago, and I got stopped at the gate. I was escorted four blocks down into a bar. There was the business agent, the union steward, and the bartender waiting for me with all the paperwork to fill out. Once I was done, they escorted me back down to the job site and put me to work. 2 weeks later, when everybody was getting their paychecks, I'm escorted back down to the bar. There's the BA and the union steward were again, and the other young men who were also getting paid. They passed down my envelope, and I got my first paycheck. Before I left, I had to open the envelope and pay the barkeep. This happened to me every time I got paid that summer. Over time, I've come to realize that while my story is obviously unique to me, there are certain themes within my story that I think most people can relate to. For starters, we all come from immigrants, and I feel like it is something that has really shaped my identity. My father, Peter Molloy, was born and raised in a beautiful town in the northwest corner of Ireland called Menanary in County Donegal. At the age of 23, my dad left Ireland and followed his dreams all the way to the United States. He entered the U.S. through Chicago, Illinois. We had family waiting for his arrival. It was there he found work as an electrician, and within 2 years, he met and married my mother. Moving to a new country and starting a family at such a young age is no small feat. But my dad was determined to build a better future for himself and his future family, so we would have nothing but the best. My dad had the dreams and the courage to go after them. As for me, I was born in February of 1962. I was the fifth of 9 kids. I spent my first 18 years in the Chicago suburbs, attending Catholic grammar schools and high schools. I was active in baseball, basketball, and football, and I rode my bike with my friends and spent my summers at a cottage my grandfather built in Fox Lake, Illinois in 1928. In 1980, I headed off to Dubuque, Iowa to attend Loras College. Where are those Loras grads out there? There they are, Brian Doherty with Aaron Rope and Matt Huffner with Mighty M. Had a lot of fun there, maybe too much fun. During the summers of my college years, I continued working in the construction industry. After college, I returned to work at Chicago Contractor Supply and Universal Form Clamp Company for two gentlemen who have become my business mentors, Tom Fahey and Terry O'Donnell. They moved me through both sides of the company. Here's a story that has stuck out for me from my time at Chicago Contractor Supply. As they moved me through the company, starting in the yard cleaning forms, inside sales counters, and eventually handling nationwide distributor calls at Universal Form Clamp. While working one day, a call came in from this guy about my age. We were both still very new to the industry, and the order got all messed up. This gentleman called my bosses, Tom and Terry, and said, "You got to fire that guy. Got to get rid of that guy." We were both two young guys who were learning the business and really didn't know what we were doing. The young man in this story is my business partner of today, Tom Hotwagner. It's gotten a lot better since then. Another story that comes to mind is about a contest held by a chemical company. They sponsored a contest for the sales department, awarding a check of $500 to whoever sold the most form oil. No matter what, I was going to win that contest. I sold 2 trucks of the oil, I got the check, and I got the dinner. Little did I know how that prize of winning that dinner would change the course of my life. During dinner, Tom, Terry, and Al Bromley of Conspect had a lot to say about Indianapolis and a project they had going on at Marble Hill. They were sending so much material to this project and needed a day-to-day presence to oversee the job. At this point, Al, who just met me, goes to Tom and Terry and says, "Send the kid." And that's how a Chicago boy ended up in Indiana in 1985. Similar to my dad, I was a 23-year-old kid with the courage to move to a new city. I was still learning the industry, and these guys really took a risk on sending me. We started Indianapolis Contractor Supply in a small building 10 minutes southwest of downtown Indianapolis. My next adventure began in 1991 when I met my beautiful wife, Julie. At the time, she worked at a drywall supply company doing all of their accounts receivables, payables, and scheduling. I asked if she'd like to come to work for us, and like the intelligent woman she is, she turned down my job offer until I agreed to sweeten the deal. 1 year later, she joined Indianapolis Contractor Supply, and the rest is history. In 1992, Julie and I relocated to Chicago. I was brought back by Tom and Terry to run Chicago Contractor Supply, assuming the role of sales manager. We spent a year working in the market, and it was during this time that Julie and I got married and started our family. Our son Peter was born in Chicago. Then one morning I woke up and realized I missed Indianapolis and all the people and friendships we had made. Around the same time, my business partner, Tom Hotwagner, yes, the same guy who called me in the Chicago office and tried to get me fired, had moved from Lansing, Michigan to Indianapolis to take over my responsibilities at Indianapolis Contractor Supply. Tom and I took the opportunity and created a business plan to buy out the company from Tom and Terry. In 1993, we formulated the plan, and in the following year, in 1994, we successfully purchased Indianapolis Contractor Supply. From that point on, Tom Hotwagner and I became business partners. Everything in my life seemed to be going great. I was a partner in this up-and-coming construction business in the heart of Indianapolis. I had an amazing family with Julie and my son. We were so blessed that we were volunteering in our community through a sidewalk ministry with a man named Lucius Newsom. More about him later. And we were about to welcome a new member to our family, Anna Helen. Our daughter was born with a rare condition called geliophysics dysplasia. It's a rare disorder that required full-time care and supervision. We spent 2.5 years at Riley Children's Hospital in Indianapolis. It took 2 years to get a diagnosis, and as you can imagine, it took a lot of juggling to work, raise a toddler at home, and spend as much time as possible with our daughter at the hospital. My partner Tom stepped up to say, "Take care of your family." He gave me the gift of time with my family and made sure I did not have to worry about work. He took the full lead. In 2002, we changed the business name from Indianapolis Contractor Supply to its current name of Job Site Supply. The next year, we hired a controller, Brian Cooper, and the business really took off. It was a real pivoting point for us. Brian held down the office so Tom and I could build the business. By 2003, we began to realize that we could build the company from within to cater to the needs of our clients in a more profound way. With a single location, we began a dual focus at job site. Concrete products, my passion, and concrete formwork, Tom's passion. Tom took the company on the road, and I was growing the sales side of business in Indiana. From the beginning of our start in Indianapolis, we were blessed to make wonderful connections and friends in the industry. Let me share a story with you about our friends in the industry and how they were practicing nothing but the best. A group of our biggest customers said they were meeting about best practices and said, "Sorry, Pete, no sales guys." I was begging them to get in. And when they finally did let me join them, I walked in all ready to sell. And I saw two people in the room that I didn't know. As they introduced themselves, I learned that one was an attorney and the other one was a marketing director. I thought our friends were talking about best practices in business, but they were really talking about best practices in life. In 2005, to my complete surprise, they proposed creating Anna Celebration of Life Foundation in honor of our daughter to celebrate her while she was still with us. With our blessing, Anna Celebration of Life Foundation was formed in April of 2006. Remember the name Lucius Newsom? Well, here's the rest of the story. Shortly after the founding of Anna Celebration of Life Foundation, I was telling Lucius about the street ministry we had been volunteering at about the foundation. We quickly got in his car, and he drove me down to a vacant lot in Stringtown, Indiana. He asked if me and all my construction buddies could help build a house for his community, and he wanted to name it Anna's House. I said, "Lucius, the foundation isn't about building houses. The mission statement is about helping Indiana children with special needs." He helped me realize that these kids had a special need too. Their special need is poverty. The ministry, which Lucius chose to name the Lord's Pantry Anna's House, opened its doors for Thanksgiving dinner in 2006. Anna Celebration of Life Foundation celebrated its 18th year this year and strives to give gifts to over 100 Hoosier children with disabilities annually. Anna's Celebration of Life has helped hundreds of children celebrate their life and share their joy. The Lord's Pantry to Anna's House continues to serve the community and provide various outreach programs to families in need. Many people in this room have been to our fundraising events and have supported us over the years. We thank you, and Anna thanks you. I invite you to visit these websites and learn more about how you have all helped numerous children and families. I am humbled knowing that the relationships we've been building over the years in this industry have developed into something so much more than any brick and mortar could have ever built. Those same types of relationships are happening here today. People in the construction industry coming together to offer love, compassion, and support through hard work and dedication to each other. Here are a few stories that I've heard from people in this room and companies in this room. Paul Brenneman with DeWalt told me a story how he and others from his church anointed themselves the Jesus freaks in the streets of Dallas. They emptied out their cabinets and closets, set up tables, and gave food and clothing to the homeless. A few weeks ago, Justin Ross with Milwaukee. Justin met Melia and her family at the ASCC Executive Leadership Conference. She was full of energy. Melia was born without her left arm. Justin asked her dad what was the one thing that she can't do. And it turns out they won't take her training wheels off her bike because she doesn't have an extension for her arm to reach the handlebars, allowing her to steer. He went back to the engineering team and made the request to see if they could help her out. And the team was all over this. Everyone in this room has their stories, and we need to share those stories to celebrate the good things that happen in life. What is your story? I'm sure it involves nothing but the best. In 2010, Tom and I took our partnership to new heights by taking Job Site Supply's dual focus of products and concrete formworks to the next level. We became two separate divisions, Job Site Supply and Job Site Engineered Products Group. The Job Site EPG Group works in harmony with Job Site Supply through an organic partnership that helps us deliver the best services to our clients. In 2012, Tom and I purchased our second location to house JobSite EPG, allowing us to better hit the market and synergize our talents. It's taken a lot of hard work to get where we are today. What started out as our humble beginnings with 4 employees has turned into a formalized division of distribution centers, with the sales division furnishing goods throughout Indiana and the EPG providing form work from coast to coast. Over 13 acres of land, 160,000 square feet of warehousing, and 112 employees. But best of all, we've created something that feels like one big family. That's what we like to call nothing but the best. A big part of why we've been able to keep successfully scaling over the years and make such great connections is due to the compassionate, generous, and gracious people who have put this event together and support us every day. This is an amazing conference and amazing community to be a part of. Here is a story of how JobSite joined Evergreen in 2006. I was approached by then board member Norm Knief of Lincoln Contractor Supply. He asked if we would join the Evergreen Marketing Group, and by asked, what I really mean is he strong-armed me into joining. We had been talking about joining JobSite for a while. One day he came to Indianapolis, stopped by my office, and it was obvious that he was not leaving until I agreed to join. I told him, Norm, I don't belong in this group. I'm a concrete guy. He could see that JobSite had a purpose in Evergreen and told me, damn it, Pete, write the check, or else I will. I wrote the check, and I'm so glad that we did. Thank you, Norm, for your persistence, and I can't tell you how thankful I am for you quite literally pulling me into the Evergreen family. In all seriousness, I've learned more from the members of the board than I could have ever imagined. Being invited into this community has been pivotal to my success. Evergreen has taught me to slow the roll and seek out the help that I need. The Planning for Profit First to Market program has been a great service to JobSite over the past 17 years by being a direct link to our highly valued preferred suppliers. I knew upon joining in 2006 that JobSite really needed support in these areas of marketing and sales planning. When I heard Shannon Worthington from Dixie Construction Products talk so passionately about the Planning for Profit program, I asked him if he would teach me what he knew. It may seem simple, but his point is that there's so much more to all of this than the economics. It's really about making those connections and, most importantly, maintaining those relationships. Every relationship, no matter the content, needs nurturing. The more time we spend making connections and building trust with our manufacturers and partners, the economics will always come. Evergreen Supply Network has given JobSite increased credibility in the marketplace and has helped us become a player in the industry, which in this economic landscape is more important than ever. Evergreen has been there for us every step of the way. Many of our employees take advantage of the Evergreen training and certification programs. I am extremely proud of my son Peter, who works at JobSite Supply, as he continues to advance in our industry. He has taken advantage of the training and certification programs provided by the people that have taught me so much. Evergreen has made it easy for us to set up our team with everything they need to grow and help our business expand in the process. Today, with the Evergreen Executive Leadership Academy and working together, we are all headed down the right path. We continue offering programs that are nothing but the best. It is a blessing to have Isaac Mobley, our sales manager, participate in the inaugural class. Many of you know Don Toon. Don is a veteran in the industry and has helped JobSite understand Evergreen's value and how we could get more out of the vendor meetings. Don went with me to my first conference, and I can't thank him enough for his support. Without him, I never would have gotten through it. We never would have gotten through it all. My introduction to my first conference was a whirlwind. When I walked into the room and I saw 85 vendor tables and know we had 25 dedicated meetings, I was like, whoa. We sat down at our first few meetings and everybody's rattling off part numbers across the board or numbers back and forth. And we got up from our first and went to our second. Finally, at our third, I said, Don, what's going on here? And he said, Pete, these are all the part numbers that we're talking about. So at our fourth table, I just started grabbing the product catalogs so I knew what we were talking about. I was way out of my element. But fortunately, Don knew everybody, and I was so excited when we were walking around and I finally saw my concrete guys. I wanted to give them a big hug. These were my guys, and I spoke their language. Today, I still don't know all the part numbers, but I'm getting a lot better. When I think of another one of my favorite memories of joining Evergreen, it's when I went down to Dallas for training. I saw a couple of books approved for our training certification that we were using back at job site. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey and the Sandler Sales System. It was then I knew that we were really on the right path. A couple of months ago, Jonathan Miller asked me if I had read the white paper that the founders wrote in 1994. I had not. It was a strategic plan and vision for Evergreen. We need to celebrate our successes over the past 30 years and recognize we have a long way to go to fulfill our vision. The white paper talks about the importance of us all working together and sharing our stories. 30 years from now, our dreams of today will be fulfilled by the people in this room and the people we have not yet met, just like the founders did in 1994. It has been an honor for me to serve on this board. I appreciate your trust and faith in me. I hope I have served you well. Not long ago, I was sitting out in this crowd just like you are now. I want everyone here, veterans and newcomers, to get excited about fulfilling your dreams and embracing change in your life. Make those connections, follow your dreams, and build your story. In closing, I'd like to formally say thank you to my fellow board members, Jonathan, Steve, Mike, Shannon, Aaron, and Kevin. It's been an honor and privilege to work with you all, and I'm so thankful for the support and guidance you've shown me over the years. To the Evergreen staff, Charlie, Misty, Wade, Shannon, and Chase, thank you for your motivation and drive to give us nothing but the best. To the ESAC committee, thank you for accomplishing the specific goals and objectives we've thrown your way. To my business partner of 30 years, Tom Hotwagner, you've been there for me every step along the way, and I couldn't ask for a better man to take this journey with me. To my son, Peter, thank you for giving me the drive and motivation to keep growing as a father and a businessman. To my wife, Julie, I love you very much. Thank you for being here with me today and always. They say behind every strong man is an even stronger woman. Thank you for supporting me. I wouldn't be half the man I am today without your love and support. And finally, a big thank you to everyone here. I challenge everyone to go out and make connections while you are here. Meet someone new and ask them their story. I appreciate your time, and I wish nothing but the best for all of you. Thank you.